What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Design Dialogues. Today, we're going to talk about two different types of designers out there, the generalist and the specialist. What type are you? What career path should you take? Pros and cons. So let's dive into this. So a generalist designer is known as jack of all trades, someone that knows a little bit about everything. They know a little bit about print, a little bit about digital, packaging, UI, web. They kind of scrape the surface on the entire design industry, right? They're called a master of none sometimes, just a negative kind of connotation out there, versus a specialist designer focuses on one niche of the design industry, whether it be a type of design or an industry. So maybe they're a logo designer and they just focus on making logos, or a type designer, just focus on making types, a web designer, UI designer, etc. Or they might be a specialist in an industry. So maybe they're a specialist in the tech industry, or in the music industry, or in the sports industry, right? Two types of designers. And I'm going to kind of go over pros and cons on each one. So the first one, a generalist designer, someone that kind of knows a little bit about everything. They get a bad rep. And everyone says you should focus on one thing, be a specialist designer. I kind of disagree. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the negative parts about being a general designer is that you're not really an expert in one area, okay? You kind of know a little bit about everything, but you're not really an expert. So you're going to end up working in industries where they need someone to do a lot of things. You know, you've probably seen those job applications. Design Ninja, I need you guys to know how to print, web, UI, this, photography, video, animate, all kinds of stuff, right? It's not a bad thing, but you're not focused on just one thing, right? The pros is that you know a little bit about the entire industry, right? So you're broadcasting to more people, negative and positive again, okay? A specialist designer focuses more on one thing and becomes an expert at one facet of the design industry. Again, whether that be logo or UI or web or an industry like we talked about before. This can lead to very, very specific and niche opportunities. Let's say I'm a Lakers fan, right? Let's say the Lakers are looking for someone to do lettering. They're not going to go out there and look for a general graphic designer. They're going to go out there and look for someone that does lettering. So a lot of specialist designers, they mostly work freelance, a lot of them, or with agencies that are looking for people to do specific tasks, not just, hey, I just need a graphic designer overall, right? So my advice for young designer coming into the game, kind of building their own path, I think everyone says, don't be a generalist, find a niche. I agree and disagree with that, right? When you come out, I feel like you should learn a little bit about everything. You should know print, you should know digital, you should know, all the social media content, event promotion, packaging, even video, photography. You should kind of dabble in everything to understand everything, right? Code, HTML, all that good stuff. As you develop your craft and as you grow older in your career, you should focus on something that is really your calling, whether you love making logos. Say, you know what, I'm going to dive into this. So now you have all the background experience of pretty much the entire design industry, or you at least understand it, but you become an expert in either one niche of the design industry, whether it be logo or type, or again, web, apparel design, or even dive deeper into maybe an industry. You only do apparel design, apparel graphics for sports companies. You only do UI design for tech companies. You're a digital designer for corporate design. So I think as you grow in your career, it's important to kind of focus down on what your passion is in the design industry and focus into that. Here's a Tgraph. Spent a lot of time on this. So check out the Tgraph. And this is a popular Tgraph that shows you the top line is kind of the general designer and their path. And then the T is when you go down this and you dive deep into an area of expertise. Again, whether it be photography, videography, logo design, UI, web stuff. So it's, again, just to reiterate, I think you can't just say, you got to be this kind or you got to be this kind. I think as your career evolves, You need to focus down on what your passions really are. But while you're starting, don't close opportunities and don't say, hey, I have 1 year in the game. I'm only a logo designer. I'm not doing anything else, because that's going to limit your ability to grow as a designer and to learn other stuff. So hopefully that helps. That's kind of the career I took. The career path I took is I learned everything up front. And just in the recent years, I'm starting to really narrow down into my niche, the type of design I do, the industry I focus on. So hopefully this helps. I wish someone would have told me this a long time ago and really kind of broke it down to me like this to understand. But yeah, again, hopefully it helps. Subscribe. Let's get some comments going on and see what you guys think about generalist versus specialist. Let's get the conversation going, all right? Thanks for watching. Share the video, subscribe. Later.